What's up, YouTube, and all of my B fighters out there? How you guys doing? So I just recently watched the new Titans TV show that was released called Titans. If you don't know, it's part of a DC membership. Let me pull up the info right here. So for $7.99 a month, you get access to a bunch of old DC movies, Superman, Batman movies, a couple of comics. You get all the Batman animated series, Justice League, and a bunch of animated movies as well. Now this is for $7.99. With that $7.99 package, they're also adding in four TV shows that they're going to be doing. I think three right now, and the other one's on hold. So we have Titans, which is released now, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, I always forget the last one, Young Justice season 3. So, how does Titans stand up? The trailer we all saw was awful. We all thought it was just complete garbage. We thought the girl looked like a hooker. Spoilers, she is a hooker. We thought the blood on Hawk and Dove coming in just looked super funky and fake and didn't really even make any sense how the blood got there. The fuck Batman line was super corny. So, based from the trailer, that piece of garbage that we had, going to the actual TV show, how did it fare? Well, to be honest, the first episode's pretty good. I was kind of pulled in instantly. So let's talk about the visuals. When the show first starts, it starts with the Dick Graysons at a circus, and they're doing their trapeze act, flipping around, doing all types of crazy stuff. It shows their death and what happens, but instantly cuts. So it's not like they're trying to show you these origin stories all over again. They're trying to give you something completely different, but let you know a little bit of their background in the beginning parts. So let's talk character for character visual wise. Actually, yeah, so we'll do character for character visual wise, and then we'll go and talk about each individual character. Then we'll go from there, okay? So the first character is actually the city. And so we're not in Gotham. We're in Detroit. Okay. Another crime riddled city. How do I feel about the choice of them going to Detroit? I think it's great. I think it's a great choice. It could have been Chicago, but I think either of those cities are great cities to put your superhero so you can have it almost like Gotham. As close as you can get to Gotham as possible, right? You want it to be full of fucking assholes and dicks. So basically, nonstop, there's always something for them to do, and it doesn't seem too stretched, too much of a stretch. Doesn't make you suspend your disbelief to the point where you're just like, what? Are you serious? So that's the first character. All right. So if we're gonna go next, we got to talk about who's the main leader, who's obviously Dick Grayson. That is Robin. Okay, he's played by Brenton Thwaites. Thwaites. I'm not sure how to say the name. Sorry if I butchered it. But he's played by Brenton Thwaites, and as Dick Grayson, I think he's great. As Robin, I think he's great. So far, I think he's a pretty good Dick Grayson. He has this cool, calm, collectiveness about him that makes him seem like he was taught by Batman at a very young age. See, what a lot of people don't understand is the reason why Jason Todd was the way he was because he was a little bit older when it all happened, and he didn't get to be under Batman's wing until almost teens. So he already had an idea of what his life was prior to Batman being in it, and then you got Dick Grayson, who had an idea of what life was prior to Batman, but it was instantly swept away, and he was still a child as it. So, a new blanket of security over top, that's Batman, you know what I mean? So you can see this like cool, calm collectiveness about him and Batman. But at the same time, on the flip side, you can see this like resentment for what Batman created. And I think that's so cool. I think it's so cool that you can see that he really enjoys being Robin, but hates being Robin at the same time. It's a double-edged sword, like you get all these abilities and all this money and all these things to be able to do pretty much everything you want to do in life, but you have a father or a father figure who basically is telling you what you have to do every night and what you need to do every night. And because of that, is probably why Robin left Batman. We don't know yet, but I'm guessing that's why. So remember in the trailer where there's that scene where he's like, "Oh, where's Batman?" And he like beats them all up and he goes, "Fuck Batman." Okay, that scene is done actually a whole lot better in the actual scene than it is in the trailer. And I know that seems like, well, duh, it's a fucking trailer, but in the trailer they really butchered it. He goes off. I think it's actually a very well choreographed fight scene. To be honest, I think it's fucking really great. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's Daredevil quality, but it's more what's the word I'm looking for? It's more entertaining to watch than Iron Fist choreography. Iron Fist choreography is all over the place. They're jumping over here, they're jumping over there, then the cuts, strong cuts. Not really like that. They do they do a nice Robin's perspective, the enemy's perspective. They have a nice overhead shot. They got he throws a smoke pellet down, so it smokes it up a little bit, so you can suspend your disbelief a little bit because the smoke pellet's out, so everything's a little bit harder to see, but they still make it clear enough for you to understand who the fuck Robin is, who the bad guys are, what he's doing at that time. I never felt lost in the fight scene. So if that's a preview of what fight scenes are to come, then I'm really excited. Here is my biggest issue with probably the whole entire show in general. And it's not the fact that Robin kills, okay? I can deal with Robin killing. My issue is, how does Batman feel about Robin killing? And I know they're probably not going to really show on Batman too much. You see his hand a little bit, bro, like in part of a scene. That's about it. That's probably the most Bruce Wayne Batman you'll see in this. But how do you think Batman would feel if he trained a student till they were 20 something, then they decided to leave, right? They go to a different city and then they're committing vigilante in that city. But not only are they being a vigilante in the city, but they're killing. I'm just wondering how Batman would take that. Especially if this Batman doesn't kill. Okay? So if this Batman's a killer, then it's not that far-fetched or out of range. But if this Batman is not a fucking killer, and this Batman holds the normal Batman status quo standard of no killing, then I just feel like Batman might be the villain at the end of this all. Like, what if Batman is the villain and is like trying to stop the Titans from fucking killing everybody? He's like, what the fuck? I leave you guys out here for 10 minutes and you guys are out here just slaughtering people. It's like, that's not what I taught you, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see if they do show how Batman feels about the whole killing scenario. You know, if he's down with it and he kills himself, or if he's not down with it and he doesn't. Because there's a weird scene where, I guess I should say this too as well. Okay, so Dick Grayson is a cop in Detroit. He got transferred to Detroit as a fucking cop. So now he's a detective in Detroit as well as a vigilante. So he's got both sides on, you know what I'm saying? So he's got the vigilante at night, cop daytime, midday type shit, you know? So at the beginning of the episode, he gets a partner. All right. And this chick like comes up to him, is like, hey, you know, I'll be your new partner. He's like, all right, cool, you can be my new partner, but you look like you're qualified enough to handle your business. I'm gonna go handle my stuff. You go handle your stuff. I don't want to deal with partners. Thank you. And he goes off to his own thing. And so he doesn't talk to her for, the majority of the episode. Then the end of the episode comes and he asks her a question and she's like, oh, you're talking to me. She's like, well, I didn't think you'd talk to me, because whatever happened between you and your last partner. And so she says something like, what happened? And he says he wasn't corrupt, because everybody knows that Gotham's corrupt. And he's like, was he a corrupt cop? And he goes, no, he was far from corrupt. He goes, my problem was I was becoming too much like him. So I'm wondering if that means you were becoming too much like Batman, as in like Batman was becoming extremely nice and like friendly with how he dealt with things, or you're talking about Batman was too what? You know, like what else could it be? If you're on the one side of the spectrum killing things already, then what is Batman's spectrum for you to bounce away from Batman and be like, I can't fuck with you no more? You know, is it too strict? Like what really goes on? Because even in the beginning of this episode, you can see that Robin has routines and he's still kind of doing the Bruce Wayne Batman kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to see where they go with that. But that's my biggest issue is how does Batman feel about this? That's my biggest gripe with the whole entire thing. Overall, though, if we're talking about Dick Grayson right now, so far, I love him. He's great. He's great as Dick Grayson. He's great as Batman. I'm Batman. He's great as Dick Grayson. He's great as Robin. Both seems like he's playing both the roles very well. You get a lot more Dick Grayson in this than you do Robin. You only get like one Robin scene, but it seems that he has some type of built up aggression towards Batman for something Batman did. So I want to see if they're going to touch on that. All right, who's next? Raven. So after the flying Grayson scene that happens at the very beginning, it cuts and it's actually a dream that Raven's having. And Raven is played by Tegan Croft. Okay. Raven's probably my weakest point. I don't really like her acting skills. They're like meh. She doesn't really seem like Raven. To be honest, she just doesn't seem like Raven. I don't know. I get that it's a different Titan, so you know maybe this Raven's gonna be a little bit different, but she has this weird. I don't even know how to describe it. Like when Raven gets mad in the original Titans TV show, I'll show you. She has like the four eyes or whatever, and her fucking cape grows all long, and it starts like blowing in the fucking wind. And it's like pure like obsidian black inside of her cape. You know, it's a very scary, menacing thing. And right now, Raven's alter ego anger thing is like her eyes turn like black. They black out right here, and there's like tears running down her face or something. I don't know. And it's like blurred. I'm not really sure what they're doing with the Raven, the whole Raven spirit thing right now. But to be honest, she's the weakest part of the cast so far. Um, she has a really dope scene though. This is the scene that pulls me in. She comes home from school and her mom is in the kitchen with some random dude, and he's like, "Tell her the truth," and she's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Tell her the truth," and he's like, she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then like you find out that that's not her real mom. You know, that's not a real mom. She's like, "I'm not your real mother," and the dude plugs the mom right in front of her. Plugs the mom. Just and like, dude, it's a nasty shot too, man. And they show it afterwards, and I was very surprised. I was like, that actually looked really good. It looked really good. So that was like one of the parts where I literally jaw dropped. And I don't really jaw drop in TV shows too much, you know? I was like blown away, man. Blown away by that. And so she once her mom dies, she like screams, this fucking thing comes out and it like chases the guy, and she like tackles him, and then uh she runs and leaves, and basically like decides to go to Detroit to try to look for Dick Grayson. But she's like getting all I don't even know how to describe this. Everywhere she goes, there's reflections. So the reflection is her alter ego talking to her. But instead of it being like nice to her, it's always kind of an asshole. Like there's a part on the where she gets on the bus and this one dude comes up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, girl?" And she doesn't want to talk. And he's like, "Oh, what's wrong, girl? I like freaks, you know?" And then the jock, which is weird, that's like completely opposite. The jock comes up and is like, "Hey, why don't you leave him alone, Adam?" And he's like, "Oh, why don't you go score a touchdown or something, Brad?" I'm just using random names. And so they get up and get into a fight. And then the bus driver breaks it up and says, "Break it up." And then the dude who was harassing Raven comes back to her. Her name's Rachel, by the way. And he says, slut. And then he sits down. And then she turns and she's like looking outside. And then the alter ego comes in and goes, slut! Like out of nowhere. Just it's kind of weird. So I don't know how I feel about Raven yet. We'll see. I'll hold my judgment on Raven until we see more of her. But right now, she's pretty much the weakest link. Let's see. Who else we got? Oh, we got Starfire, right? That's played by Addie Anna Diop. Anna Diop. And you know what, guys? Remember how we were talking all of that crap in the trailer, man? We were running our mouths in the trailer. And to be honest, she's probably one of my favorites too. Her and Dick are like line in line, dude. I like them. I like them both right now. I think they're both. I think they're both good, man. I think they're both good. Her outfit is obviously trash. You know, we all talked about her looking like a prostitute. The thing is, she actually is a prostitute. She actually is a prostitute. So that's why she looks like she does. Now, as for her, you know, aesthetics and everything else, we'll have to see what happens if she ends up changing her outfit, going to a more traditional Starfire role, you know, that kind of deal. But her whole situation in the story is she has amnesia. So she wakes up next to a dead guy who's they're both in a car whose the car's been totaled, and they're on this, you know, side of a road, you know what I mean, and the car's completely totaled. There's no chance of her getting him out of the car and like starting it up. So she gets out the car to try to like regain her thoughts, but she has complete amnesia. She doesn't know anything about anything. She can't remember anything. So she gets out, she's examining the car. There's bullet holes on the car. She looks up, there's an SUV speeding down this huge road, and she books it as they start shooting at her. Now, the one thing I'll say about that scene is like her urgency just didn't feel real. Like when they start shooting at her, she kind of just goes, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like, you know, somebody who can't figure out what's going on in the situation. Like you have amnesia, there's people shooting at you and you're still not even like, you know, I feel like you'd be a little bit more jumbled and like, you know, a little more schizo. So she runs and goes back to where she has her purse or whatever. In her purse is a card. She goes back to her card. She goes back to the hotel, and it's a penthouse card key. She doesn't even know where she goes, so she asks the lady. The lady says, "You belong in the penthouse. You're at the very top." She's like, "Do you want me to bring what you requested last time?" She's like, "Well, remind me what I requested last time." And then she goes, "Oh, I you make me blush or something like that." And I was like, "What did she get? Like, she get like male prostitutes or something?" I don't know. Anyway, so she goes up to the top of the penthouse. She opens the door. She's looking around. She opens the closet, and there's a dude in the closet, and he's got his mouth fucking gagged, and you know, he's tied, got his hands tied behind his back. So she takes the gag off and starts asking him questions, blah blah blah. And when after she gets done asking him questions, he like turns around, pretty smart dude, turns around to the dinner tray and fucking finds a knife and like cuts the zip ties, breaks free and starts like fighting her. And she's fighting back pretty well, man. She's blocking and shit, man. She's up in there. No. I was like, okay. She was up in there getting it. But out of nowhere, she punches the dude, boom, and he flies back. Good like 60 feet. And like lands on some random nightstand table or some shit. So she's actually shocked by her abilities that she has. So she knocks a dude back, he lands, and this dude has internal bleeding for sure. Like they made it clear in that. And that's what I like about this show so far, is like the destruction of what the heroes are doing to criminals and shit seems super real, super grounded, man. When you hit somebody that hard and they go flying back 60 feet, their organs are gonna be fucked. So he was basically dead anyway. So she comes up, she asks him some more information, and then she snaps his neck. Now, a lot of people are probably not going to be okay with all this killing in this show. Raven kills somebody this episode. Not really her, though, her alter ego. Robin kills like 12 dudes, and fucking Starfire kills like 4 or 5 guys. Okay, so everybody's probably not gonna be okay with this killing, but I'll tell you this: Raven's killing and Starfire's killings, both you shouldn't have any problem with, because Raven's alter ego was the one who did the killing, and Starfire had to kill that motherfucker in the goddamn penthouse. Because where else you gonna do? Be like, okay, I'm just gonna gag you back up and put you back inside? Like, no, 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 no. So she had to kill him either fucking way and get the fuck out of there. And then later on, she goes to a nightclub and she confronts one of her clients who was like low key in love with her, I guess. And he tries to shoot her. And when he shoots her, that's when you see the thing in the trailer where she's like looking up at the sky, her eyes turn green, hair turns all fiery red. She like burns these cats, dude, just straight incinerates like 4 or 5 dudes. They turn to ash literally and just like crumple down to the floor. So visual wise for her, man, she looks really good when she turned into her little Starfire mode. It actually looked incredible. There's like maybe like a nice 10 frame shot, dude, where her hair is like coming down after the fire and like 2 strands go to one eye and they're just like sitting here. You know what I mean? Like underneath the spot. Oh, it's so gorgeous though. It looks so good. So visually, I fucking love how Starfire actually looks when she turns into Starfire mode. I'm just not a fan of her outfit. I just think her outfits look stupid as fuck. But it makes sense now that we knowing what we know, that she, is a prostitute. So that's why she looks all skimpy. So her and Dick are the super surprising parts in this first episode. There's not much that really happens the first episode. It just really gets Raven and Dick Grayson together. That's pretty much the main part of this. And you see a little bit of Starfire stuff. Now you're probably wondering, well, where's everyone else? What about the rest of the people that are coming in? So there's supposed to be a lot of other people. I was doing some research before I started. Looks like there's going to be a lot of other people they're going to be adding who are normal not Justice League, sorry, normal Teen Titans kind of characters. But apparently they're going to have a Jason Todd. Jason Todd's supposed to be here. Elastigirl. I don't know if you guys know who Cliff Steele is. They're going to have Donna Troy's going to be in here. So it looks like they're going to have a couple people. Let me see. That's about it. Looks like they're gonna have a couple people from the from other Teen Titans eras and see what happens if they're gonna actually put them in and keep them in. Looks like some of them are for like 10 episodes, some are for 8, some are only there for like 5, according to IMDb. But we'll have to see. So overall, guys, how did I feel about this new Titan show, and what would I give this first episode? I give the first episode an 8 out of 10. I give the first episode an 8 out of 10. It was pretty damn decent. It was pretty decent. It was really engaging. It doesn't really slow down or get boring. You learn a lot about the characters. Oh, you're probably wondering, what about Beast Boy? So, for whatever reason, Beast Boy's not really in this episode. He's in this episode for 10 seconds. The last 10 seconds of the episode is Beast Boy. And basically, what's happening is Beast Boy is robbing a Circuit City or a Best Buy, for you new cats. He's robbing a Best Buy for video games as a tiger. You heard me right. I'm not really sure why he picked a tiger, though, dude. I'm wondering if he can only do certain animals right now. Because why wouldn't you do like a kangaroo or some shit, man? You just fucking stuff a bunch of shit in your pouch. You know what I mean? You take controllers, arcade sticks. Might even get a nice little TV in there or something, bro. Like I don't get why he didn't do something like that. But change to a tiger to steal some video games. So you had like a mouthful of video games, and then he runs off into the wilderness, and he's like de-transforming, and that's really all you see of Beast Boy. Now, how does Beast Boy look visually? But look, here's what I'll say, man. You can't hate on the visuals on this too much, dude, because it's a TV show. I understand people are going to be like, well, what about Daredevil or Iron Fist or blah, blah, blah. Those are super grounded in reality where they probably don't use too much CG. There's obviously CG, but the CG in Daredevil and in half those fucking shows that are on Netflix are super grounded in reality. So they don't really have to do as much, So they don't have to worry about, making crazy like fire abilities or anything else. I think that's why Marvel chose the way they chose with their Netflix series to make them more grounded and just make them just make all the characters, based around like strength or, just tiny things. So you don't have to really get deep into spending that coin to make this CGI because that shit looks bad. This dude's tiger is worse than the tiger in Walking Dead. The tiger is worse than the deer in Walking Dead. Remember the deer in Walking Dead with like no shadow on one side and shit, and the sun was shining the other way or some shit? It looked awful. This tiger is very close to that. It's actually, I'd say the tiger is a little bit better, just a little bit better than the deer in Walking Dead. It's on par with that shark in The Flash. Remember the shark that he had to fight in The Flash? It's on par with that. So we'll see how his other characters look. When he transforms or de-transforms, looks like he gets his normal skin back. He's not green. He has green hair, but he doesn't necessarily stay green. Looks like he's only green when he transforms or something like that. I'm not sure. Let me see. What else happened in this first episode? We talked about the cast. We talked about visuals. Oh, music. Music-wise was a hit or miss. It was a little bit here, there, a little bit there. There's some things I thought were really, really well done music-wise. Some things I thought that were meh. So the score so far is meh. It's meh. Let's see. I pretty much gave you guys everybody's acting. I felt like Dick Grayson did great as Dick Grayson and Robin. Felt like Raven, I'm scared for her. I felt like Starfire did great acting-wise. And it looks like the couple supporting characters you're going to look decent as well. Looks like Dick Grayson's partner as a cop is going to be a supporting character. Maybe a couple people around the police station. Everyone else, you just don't know yet. It's too early to tell. So, yeah, man. 8 out of 10. I give it. Is it worth buying the $7.99 DC premium membership pass subscription thing? I don't know. I don't know yet. It just depends on what these other shows do and what this show does. If this show is good and it stays the way it is and they find some traction to actually build some character development and get you engaged until the end of the season, then possibly. It possibly could be, because you're telling me for $7.99 a month, I can watch pretty much any like Batman shit I wanted to watch, any Superman, all the Justice League, all that stuff. You can pile all that up, and then you're going to give me 4 new shows on top of that are going to be completely only exclusive to here. I don't know. It might be decent. I personally myself wouldn't pay for it yet, just because I own a lot of comics myself. So I don't really have to worry about like going into the comic realm. But I say, if they do this comic shit right, which I heard they're not, supposedly Action Comics, they only give you 29 issues. Somebody in the comments, please let me know if that's true. 29 issues out of Action Comics, something that started in 1939. You're giving them 29 issues. If it's like that with the comics, then it's probably not going to be worth it, man. But if it isn't, and they give you a shit ton of comics and everything else with it, then, I think that's a much better decision or choice with it all. You know what I mean? I've only done the trial thing, and I haven't even looked at the comics or anything else. I'll probably do it after this little review, and then I'll maybe have it at the end of the thing or whatever. But yeah, man, so that's pretty much my review, about 30 minutes in. Pretty much my review for the first episode of Titans. I recommend everybody at least find some kind of way to watch it. Get somebody to get a trial for you, something. Just do the trial version, or at least wait. I think the next episode comes out in like 4 days or something like that. At least wait until the next episode comes out, and then you get 2 episodes with the trial. And then boom, see what happens. See what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you guys like Titans? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you not like Starfire? Did you like Starfire? And how did you guys, this is the number one thing you guys can answer me in the comments. How do you guys think Batman feels about Dick Grayson killing if he doesn't kill? And how do you think he feels about it if he does kill? All right, man. Thank you guys so much for kicking it with your boy. You know, I'm Baki. You can find me on Twitch all day, every day at BakiHama20. That's what we do on the regular. I appreciate you guys. We're going to be doing a ton of videos. We're going to be doing reaction videos, reviews. We got a bunch of things coming out the pipeline. This is just me getting things started and just trying to get it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first thing. Let me know how you like the format and stuff. I'm going to cut it up, chop it up a little bit, see if we can cut it and trim it down. I appreciate you guys. You guys like it. Leave a like for your boy and be sure to subscribe for more content, guys. I'll see you guys later. It's informative material. Peace out.